We'll start with Wes and go to Mike.
Yeah, Tony, I guess just what did you see from Chad tonight? Career high in strikeouts and looked after that second inning home run, he seemed to really settle in and sort of control the thing.
Yeah, just a gutsy effort is kind of what I saw. I realize he's got the good stuff to go with it, but the way he just kind of battled through some of those at bats. I mean, if you just look at Trey Morgan's first at bat of the game, I don't know how many pitches he fouled off, but it was a lot. And then he had to come back after giving up a home run, a couple other decently struck balls or runners at first and second, maybe with just one out. And then two, if you followed his season closely enough, we really haven't built him up to pitch, go into the eighth or get to 100 pitches. This was the first night he got to that spot. And again, he kind of had to do it with all guts as we got closer to the end, and maybe the gas tank to no one's fault was kind of nearing an end. So hopefully an effort that the other pitchers see that, pitching with your heart and your guts is just as important as your arm.
Tony, looked like you were pretty fired up there in the ninth with the double play. I mean, how emotional was this win for not only you, but this team?
I think it had a little something extra to it, maybe relative to others, but I think there's been games, the one at Georgia Southern on Sunday, Saturday as well down there, the ETSU game. When it's close and two teams are really trying to win and there's extra things that go on, then there's extra emotion that comes with it. But the best part about that play, and I did kind of mention it to John Wilkerson on the radio, is you had two guys involved in a phenomenal double play whose last at bat, they struck out, and it kind of came with a little extra something to maybe bring to the field with you negatively. And they didn't, they hooked it up. So again, that was the theme of the night for me, was a gutsy effort by both teams, but our guys kind of had some special efforts with certain circumstances.
We'll go to Ryan next and then Ben.
I think had base runners in every single inning except for the eighth, and able to get the pitcher out of the game in the fifth inning. Just how big was the consistent pressure y'all were able to put on LSU?
Yeah, the old war of attrition, if you will. A guy that I envy greatly of how he can throw the baseball, but also how he competes in his presence. And, Marceau's who I'm referring to, I've also seen him throw enough just because he's started ever since he's gotten to LSU. And so for us to make anything difficult for him, I know no one really hammered balls all over the park or anything like that. Jordan Beck had a nice line drive, but just to do anything against him is special for any team in our league, if you ask me. And our guys did it with kind of a group effort and more of a just, again, war of attrition. You're probably going to get us a few times, but we're going to find a way to chip away at you a few times. And it helped. I mean, it basically helped create something in one of those innings, and then helped us get into the bullpen. Even though some of those guys did a good job for them, at least we were able to get to the bullpen early.
Tony, you all left runners on base once again, and it's a similar question to Ryan's, but did leaving runners on base tonight maybe feel a little bit different because those at-bats, you really made the pitcher work, and it wasn't maybe some at-bats that you were disappointed in last weekend? I think you called them not competitive enough. Did they feel different tonight, leaving runners on base, even though you'd prefer to drive them in?
Yeah. No, I thought you were going to negative town there, Ben, and then you pulled a little bit of a U-turn or pulled a left there. Look at Jordan Beck's line drive with runners at second and third, smashed the ball, but right at the center fielder. Evan Russell, line drive after he'd been pulling off the ball, line drive right up the middle with guys on base. Luke Lipschitz, probably with two strikes had to go down and get a low pitch, and you can't lift that pitch. He didn't strike it, quite as well as you'd like, but a decently hard hit ball in that situation. Unfortunately, it's an atom ball and there's two outs. I think per the competition and then also more of the at-bats, the way they went down, it was more of a positive sign.
We'll go back to Wes.
Yeah, Tony, I know that you sort of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but with some of those at bats, y'all are getting down 0-2, 1-2, making it back to a full count. I mean, just how frustrating does that have to be for a pitcher to face a lineup like that?
We lost you, Wes.
You can interrupt me if you come back, Wes, but jump into it. I mean, that's something that that's something that wasn't going on at the beginning of the year. And I think hopefully you guys got me now. Internet's we got asteroids flying around. I hope everyone's all right in Nashville. That hail deal was scary. But getting back to your deal with 2 strikes early in the year, we just had some flat out bad at bats where we made it, 3-4 pitches, just walk back to the dugout and kind of look frustrating. And if you're a fan sitting at home on the couch, it's like, do these guys ever talk about 2 strikes in practice? Well, we have. And I think the guys have made it a pride point to put together a quality at bat early in the at bat if they can. And if it gets late to the at bat where they're down in the count, then salvage something for the team, because we don't have one superstar in the middle of our lineup that's going to carry us. I mean, we've got some good players, but it's going to have to be 9 guys contributing in some form or fashion, even if it's just making it a little more difficult on the pitcher to get you out.
All right, we'll go to Jordan Kramer next, and then Trey Wallace.
Hey, Tony, you guys are 7-0 in series opening games so far this season. How much of a level of importance do you kind of stress coming out strong in that opening game? And what does it say that, typically you face an ace on Friday and the opponent, that you guys are able to get those wins?
Yeah, I think it sticks to that category of kind of grinding it out against some of those pitchers that we've come into games, and there's been a lot of guys hyped up. I mean, if they're thrown on Friday, that can occur. But our guys have battled. I mean, you're going to see the freshman from Georgia have a lot better outings than he had against us. And I know they had a quick hook with them, but we've made it difficult on some guys. And sometimes it turns out you score a bunch of runs. And sometimes, again, tonight, you just lean on a guy enough that you get some productivity out of it. But as far as game 1 of the series, our emphasis, I think, as coaches is just to be ready. I mean, it starts with our strength coach, Q. You guys know by now, he's on them all the time. He's consistently around them and keeping a thumb on them being ready and take care of their bodies physically. And then I think the coaching staff is really big on mentally making sure our guys are going through their routines and just be ready on Friday. Because if not, you're going to get knocked out. It doesn't matter if it's an SEC opponent or not, but it is round 1 of a 3-round battle, and you could get knocked out pretty quick in our league, or again, even in other circumstances, if you're not ready. So it doesn't ensure that you're going to win a game, but it definitely ensures that you're in the fight. And that's all we're looking for our guys to do on Fridays.
Hey, Tony, what did you think about the crowd tonight, the environment, the excitement that fans were showing, especially opening up SEC play, getting one going on a Friday night? Can you talk about that and how it energizes the team?
Yeah, it does. I can assure you that. And it makes you feel good too, because when we go to Georgia, that's what's going on there. Georgia Southern, there's people above our dugout saying all kinds of goofy things, cheering on their team too. Wherever we go next, or if we were at, LSU down in Louisiana, that's what we would be seeing. So our kids want to see that. And not only did they see it, but they saw it in grand fashion. I mean, for where we're at with protocols, that was a large number of people, and they were loud and they were into it. And we're talking about our guys playing with guts or kind of gritting through some situations. Who's to say there's not a few pitches in there that maybe it doesn't occur without that fan support? So, the guy I talked to it the most about was, Danny White was here and congratulated me and the team on the win. And we just talked about, it was nice to see that crowd. Can't wait till it's full capacity. And then even a little bit of a dreaming of what could it be like if, things expand a little bit. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes, or road, or however the heck you say it.
Okay, I've got time for one more, Coach, so we'll go back to Ben.
Tony, just what'd you see from Sean tonight, and just how comfortable are you when you see him trotting in from the pen?
Well, always comfortable in the aspect that we know what we're going to get out of him. And, as a coach, we talk about that with some of our younger guys that are itching to get in the lineup. Is the one thing we need to know is who you are every day. And then we can make a fair judgment on whether or not we feel you give us the best chance to win the game, or you're the best guy in that particular situation. And then more importantly for me, my selfish answer is I'm a big adversity guy, maybe because I had too much of it as a player and wilted at times. And, kids can do that when it gets tough. And the one thing about the 2 guys that were on the mound today for us, and then several others we'll put out there before the weekend's over, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, I guess, if you want to we can make a T-shirt out of that maybe and give it to Sean.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.